Donut Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the NBA. So y'all check this out. Well, a few days ago, maybe even a week ago, right? LeBron James came out talking to his boys and said, "Hey, I think I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the GOAT." His reasoning was after bringing that title to Cleveland, getting two in Miami and bringing that title back to Cleveland after all those years, destitute, not having one, years, something over 40 years or whatever. I'm the greatest of all time now. And I think that's what he's supposed to be thinking right about now. That's why you damn right. That's exactly what he should be thinking, right? And I weigh in on it real short. I'm trying to keep this short, but it probably won't be. You know, LeBron James, he's probably, comparing himself to Jordan. That's the one you get most of the time from people from 25 to 45. That's who they're going to be comparing him to. Once your hair gets a lot grayer than that, and you become a grandfather and stuff like that, then you're going to start comparing the best of all time. You might start getting other names, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That name going to come up. Bill Russell going to come up because he got 11 titles. And if you're talking about Jordan having 6 titles, then you're going to be like, well, if titles is the prerequisite for being the greatest, then this dude ain't enough hands for his rings. And that'll be Bill Russell. So the arguments are going to be coming left and right. So you will always argue about who's the best of all time. The ones way back, sometime when I'm looking at it, the league, it advances, and there was more people playing, more athletes playing, right? And more parity. So you have more than one or two good matchups a year. You have a great matchup on your position probably every night or every second night for sure in the NBA. So I kind of always weigh that in. That's why it's pretty hard to do these kind of things, right? But I'm just saying this. LeBron James has all the reasons in the world. He has 3 titles, made about 8 finals. Guys, I'm doing this. I'm winging this. Didn't go fact check anything. Just the way, if you watch hoops, you're going to know a little something. And that's the way it is. Excuse me, guys. LeBron James has all the reason in the world to at least believe that he's the best. Some people are going to, they like to say, going to have Jordan, but it's America, and when it's America, we lie about a democracy. You can't say certain things. It has to be Jordan for most of the people right now. He won 6 titles and those kind of things. But when I'm talking Jordan, me personally, why Jordan is not my favorite for the best, greatest of all time, is simply one word. And that word is Pippen. That's why. Because I'm telling you, Pippen is probably one of the most underrated guys ever. This guy is a monster. He was able to play every position or defend every one, at least from the 1 to the 4. I would say the 5 too because of the quickness of his hands. But okay, give him the 1 to the 4. Defending, rebounding, bringing the ball up, pushing it up, transition, whatever you want. Then started getting the shot together later in his career. This is when there was no Pippen on no LeBron James team. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got over there. Wait a minute, hold up. Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh together. But when you're looking at that, you're still looking at, well, Pippen better than both of them. And Pippen, when you're talking about offense and defense. And Dwayne Wade is close. Now, don't get me twisted. Dwayne Wade blocks more shots from the guard position than a whole lot I'm talking about in history. And him, Danny Green, them kind of guys, they block a lot of shots. And we know that Dwayne Wade was scoring in his prime. But Pippen is a monster in his defense. He's shutting his guy down and is able to do everything on the basketball floor. And then other guys weren't bad either, depending on if it was Horace Grants of the world, Tony Kukac's of the world, and things like that back in the day. And then later, Dennis Rodman even came. There weren't bad teams over there in Chicago. So it's not like it's a landslide Michael Jordan over this guy, over your boy LeBron James. And, and his teams weren't that great. I think he has all the right in the world to think what he's thinking, right? There's other players as well. If you go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the things he's done, most points in history, and, he's won about 6 MVPs. People have reasons to believe. My favorite player, like I say every time I talk basketball, is Hakeem Olajuwon. If I'm starting a team of the all-time greats, I started with Hakeem. I know it rhymes. If I start a team, I start with the dream. Hakeem. No doubt about it for me. I know what I saw. When people tell me whatever, Hakeem is going to stop you, and you ain't stopping him, not on his position. And that's what I would start with. So I don't know if Hakeem's the best ever when you took all the positions, but he's in my conversation, and I start my team with him. Period. And that's everybody. Right? I'm talking about everybody. Guard, two position forwards, whatever. Hakeem is who I start with. But that would be just me. Right? I know that's not what the general consensus, but I know what I saw. I'm looking at statistics, and not only that, I'm looking at from a center position, you wouldn't have nobody stealing the ball in a high rate, blocking shots. You can't really score on him. It's really hard to do so. And then his transition, he was fast enough, and his footwork is unprecedented. So when you're looking at that, stop that. But I wouldn't say, back to the point, there's arguments for a lot of players. Is LeBron the best? His body of work is getting there, guys. He should be thinking that he's the best. I have no problem with LeBron James saying he's the greatest of all time. I know that a lot of people, I've heard interviews, it's been a week ago, I've heard interviews, and what people are saying is he shouldn't say it, right? Now, I don't have nothing to say about that. Maybe he shouldn't. Others probably haven't. Right? I'm not sure who. I can't remember somebody saying I'm the greatest of all time. For boxing, Muhammad Ali. But I do think that in the comfort of your home, or you're great talking to your boys, right? You done won 3 titles and been to 8 finals, and you're still going strong in your 16th season. Now, a whole lot of people didn't look like this in their 16th season. I think that man should believe that he's the greatest of all time. Is he the greatest of all time? That question's still up there, like I told you before. We can argue back and forth. But I don't think Jordan is either, right? I think these guys are close and up there, and they're all in the conversation. But we have an argument for everybody. And my argument is going to be Hakeem anyway. I'm not probably win too many arguments with these people, but that's what mine would be. So, yes, there's a whole lot of people that can argue that they're the greatest of all time. I told you Hakeem. And then you can't forget Wilt Chamberlain's of the world with statistics like that. His statistics are so, Wilt Chamberlain's statistics are so ridiculous that people don't even say them. So to embarrass the rest of the NBA, you don't be messing around averaging 50 points, averaging 25, 26 rebounds and stuff like ridiculousness, right? Now, the parity back then was decimated. Wasn't that much going on. Really diluted. A couple of players. His best defender, he's 7'1" or whatever. Wilt Chamberlain, his best defender is 6'9" Bill Russell. Right? So he wasn't having to deal with somebody with his athleticism, his size on a nightly basis. That's why I always say Hakeem, because I know in his era, he was going through, it was a big center every night that thought they was as good as him, and they showed him that they wasn't. And I saw it. So there's another thing. So long story short, I told you it was going to be longer than I thought. Long story short is this. Damn right, LeBron James should at least think that he's the best of all time, or the GOAT. Should he say it? That's a different argument. Dome Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about to hear y'all.